In today's video, we're going to be discussing the lessons learned from the Cornerstone fallout and all the other CEF implosions for that matter. I'm going to be shaking up the portfolio a bit and showing you how I use some of these tricks to maintain the fire lifestyle. We're still earning over 100,000 in dividends. We're still traveling the world. Here's a view of Nice, France outside of our window. And you can do this too, but it takes some maneuvering and some tricks that I employ in down markets to keep the fire lifestyle going and the income high. So stay tuned for those. Thanks. So we're here in the portfolio now, and as you can see, we're still earning over 160,000 per year in dividends at this channel. Also, my day's gain shows that I'm up 11,000 for the day, or 2%, whereas the market is flat. If you need help doing what I'm doing in my account, Living Financially Free, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. Okay, so also, again, when you buy all my e-guides, you get free access to Discord for life, and you get my phone number for life, okay? So we're up 11,700 today, all right? Now, I'm telling you about my e-guide so that you don't have to ask all these questions in the comment section. I cannot field all of your questions. That's what the e-guides were made for. I didn't even start Discord when I made YouTube. When I started the Discord, the YouTube channel, I never had any e-guides. I never even had a Discord server. But because of all the demand, I made the e-guides. And then when I started having clients ask me questions about the e-guides and when we're going to do the rights offering for Cornerstone, that's when we started the Discord chat room. Okay, now we have over 500 members in the Discord chat room. So keep that in mind. If you have questions on what I'm doing, they're in my e-guides, and then you can also get support in the Discord chat room. All right, so Cornerstone, as you can see, it's bouncing strong today. Okay, we could go to a chart of this, but the lessons that I learned from Cornerstone are, yes, you want to sell it around 30% plus premiums and get that rights offering and play the rights offering properly. That's how you really level up your account. Many closed-end funds do rights offerings every year, and that's how you, again, level up your account. But when they don't have a rights offering and you have a drop like this that you see on the chart, now I'm going to say that you need to rebalance your portfolio. So if you had 200K in CLM and CRF each, and you're ballooning your position up to 250 each, like we were at 50% for the year originally, then I would say start trimming it back to 200. That's the lesson learned from this recent debacle. Okay, Cornerstone, it wasn't Cornerstone that fell alone. Okay, if you go look at all the other funds, we've made past videos on this. USA fell, ASG fell, every closed-end fund fell, even value names fell, even a lot of industrials fell. Okay, if you go look at an XLI, okay, a lot of value names and cyclical plays fell. Okay, and look, I mean, the charts all look identical. All right, is there anything wrong with the industrials? No. Okay, are the C's blowing up? No. Are the C's over like they're saying on Seeking Alpha? No. Okay, it's a 4-star fund. The Cornerstone funds are the best fund I can find. Okay, when you go here to Morningstar, you'll see that this is ASG. It made you 60,000 over the course of 10 years. That's why I added some ASG recently. But if you go to a chart of Cornerstone, CLM, you'll see that CLM is a 4-star fund. Okay, if I can only get it in here and load this. Okay, my internet is slow as I'm here in France. Okay, so CRF, okay, let's go look at that chart. 4-star fund. All right, and look, it beat all the indexes. It made you 55,000 almost over the last 10 years. Go find me a better index play that has a 20% dividend, and it drips the dividend back at the NAV. So it takes the 21% dividend and it drips it at the NAV. Okay, 648 is the asking price, but it drips it down at the NAV, which is usually much lower. We had 30% gains in some of these plays and some of these drip plays. Now you can't even see the premiums that I'm getting from those drips because we fell all the way back down to the NAV and Cornerstone. Pretty much we touched the NAV. And is that the time to sell out of Cornerstone? No, it's the time to add more. But this is what I did to shake up the portfolio and get stronger for it. As you can see, my margin is 160,000 now, but we're earning 160,000 in dividends. So this margin will be gone in 1 year, and my account will be plus 480 plus 60. So it'll be at, around 500. It'll be over 500,000 in 1 year if I just collect all these dividends. Okay, and the dividend is set for the year in Cornerstone. Yes, in October it's a dividend reset month. Okay, but usually that's a non-event. Okay, and I've had some months where they raise in October. So I'm not going to say I should have sold anything. I should have sold out of Cornerstone and played it like a rights offering during the month of October. I'm just going to say you should have rebalanced your shares back to the core position, which for me would have been about 200 grand each. Okay, because I had a $500,000 account, okay, just a month ago or so. And so 200 each in Cornerstone is fine because of the indexes. That's what you want to put all your money in the indexes. That's the best way to get ahead. And then I put the rest of my money in these other funds, and they have higher dividends than Cornerstone. So what I did was I sold about, it looks like about 50K of Cornerstone, okay, just to raise some cash there. And then I put half the money, 25K, in these JEPY and QQQY funds, these D funds. That's how I knocked my margin down by 25K. But kept my income the same, okay? That's how I kept it at 160, but my margin fell to 160, okay? This margin debt, it's low interest debt, so I don't mind holding 160 here for a lifetime, okay? I negotiated my margin rates down. You can too. Many of my clients on Discord did, and they can if they haven't already. And if you need the script to doing that, that's, you could just call me. We talk about it on Discord, or you can call me. Again, when you buy my e-guides, you get my phone number to call me anytime. That's a great value. I don't know of any other YouTuber that allows that. Okay, so yes, we went into the Ds. Okay, we put 30K each into the Ds, but they have 50% maintenance. So you have to be careful with the Ds. You have to watch your maintenance there. If you just put your whole account in the Ds, the Defiance funds, okay, you're going to suck up all your available withdrawal, and then you can't live the fire lifestyle. 50% maintenance, whereas Cornerstone is 30% maintenance. So if you put 100K in Cornerstone, it only takes about 30K of your available withdrawal. If you put 100K in the Ds, it takes up 50K of your withdrawal. And as you know, we're just trying to live financially free at this channel. I don't care about days gains or losses. I don't care that I'm up. I was just up 15 grand before I started this video. Okay. Now we're up only 11,000. I don't care about being up 11,000 or being down 11,000. I know you guys think that I care, but I don't care, because all I want are the dividends to not only pay my margin back, but I want the dividends to qualify to banks for loans. That's how I level up in my account. I can get personal loans and things like that to actually put more money in my account. But that's also how I buy a car or a house without having to have a job. I don't know of any other YouTube channel that promotes this, and I don't know of any other profession or way of life that's better than this, okay? Not only were we beating the market, we're up 50% again year to date, but we're living financially free. So even if we were down, or we're only up 1%, as you saw in the last video, which now we're up much more than that because we're up 11,000 a day, we're up 10,000 yesterday. Even if we come back and we're up, 5%, or we're down 5% for the year, it doesn't matter. No, the percentages don't matter. That's just icing on the cake. Okay. All that matters is your dividends pay back your margin, and your available withdrawal stays high. So my market value is 380. It was 500 just a month ago, but my available withdrawal is 180. Okay. 180 is, that means I can swipe my E-Trade credit card, go wherever I want in the world. Again, I'm here in France. We're about to be in Spain soon. And all I have to do is just swipe my E-Trade card. I can buy whatever I want, cars, clothes, shoes, whatever. Even though I'm in 160,000 of debt, you can withdraw from this available withdrawal number. Why am I talking fast? Because I have a lot to say in this video, and I don't want it to be too long, okay? If you have any questions on what I'm doing, again, you can just always email me, okay? So, or you can ask me on Discord. So I redeployed more money back into the Ds and back into the Rs, even the Rex funds. Okay, FEPI. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to, because I want to sell some of these other funds, like a USA. Again, if you go to a chart of USA, I bought 5,000 of USA yesterday, right? If we go to a chart of USA, you're going to see that it looks the exact same as Cornerstone or Industrials. Look at that. It's the same. It's the same chart here, okay? This big down whoosh and then a new low, okay? It's the same chart. So everyone needs to relax when we're talking about if the C's are blowing up, Cornerstone's blowing up. Why didn't I keep all my money in Cornerstone? Because I wanted diversification. All right, I wanted more D's exposure, but I didn't want too much in the D's because they're unproven. But they have been performing quite well, as you've seen over the past month. In the month of October, it's been a terrible month. They've been performing quite well, and their dividends are staying quite strong. So I couldn't go to cash either, because you need the income for fire, okay? You lose to inflation when you're in cash, and I needed that income for the financially independent, retire early lifestyle, okay? Okay, and then I couldn't just switch to SPY because in a down market, the S&P 500 doesn't pay you anything, and you can't sell out of the S&P 500, or you're going to erode your precious capital base. Okay, you can't just keep selling out of SPY, and then when the market rallies, you'll have less money in it going forward. And obviously, you're not going to make any money, and you're going to have to keep working a job. Okay, so once we get to 20 to 30% premiums, again, in Cornerstone, or if we get an RO, I'm going to use modest amounts of margin to reload into the other D's, Y's, and R's names. And then I'm going to sell the C's each month when we get the dividends in Cornerstone, which is about $8,000 a month. I'm going to just sell them now and use them to pay down my margin, because the drips now in Cornerstone have evaporated, the premiums, because we've dropped so much in Cornerstone. Okay, when the premiums start rising again and we get to 10% plus or 20% plus premiums, I'm going to hold those. I'm going to let the drips collect. But when we get to 30%, I'm going to start rebalancing so I can avoid, the downturn that we just saw in the portfolio recently. All right, you just have to play these maintenance levels right. Okay, when you're selling the money, when you're selling the C's to go into the D's, you have to watch the maintenance. Okay, and again, that's in my margin e-guide if you have questions on that. Okay, so let's see, am I leaving anything out here? Okay, look, the C's, I always say, Tina, there is no alternative. All right, now there are some alternatives, because you have JEPY and QQQY. You have the C's, you have the D's, and I say the Y's for Yieldmax, and then you even have the, let's say, R's for the rec shares. Okay, now FEPY, once again, it doesn't have a dividend yet, so I'm not buying it yet, and it also has 50% maintenance, so I have to be careful. I'm not going to just buy 10,000 FEPY and take up 5,000 of my equity when it's not paying me a dividend yet. Plus, it's FANG related, and you don't want to necessarily have too much tech exposure on when tech is kind of getting wobbly and the S&P is cheaper. The value names are cheaper, so I'm switching back to value. As I've always said when I started out my videos on YouTube, you have to have a balance of value and growth. Okay, so I think that right now I'm finding a better way to complement the C's with the D's, okay, and the Y's and the R's. I bought some more OARC on the recent dip because they look really cheap. Go look at the ARC funds. I bought some more CLIP, okay, that you call those the K's if you want. CLIP, China's looking really cheap, but it's not just China that's cheap. It's all of the emerging markets. All of the international markets are cheap and they look the same. So you shouldn't be bashing CLIP. It's been actually doing really well. It has a 50% dividend or so, and it's been holding up again quite well despite the weakness internationally. So that's another value play that I'm going into, and that's how but it's 50% maintenance again. So I had to watch out with CLIP. So that's how I was able to get my income back to 160,000, but my debt is at 160,000. I think these are much more manageable levels. Okay, now the debt's gone in 1 year. Again, if I get the dividends now from Cornerstone, I'm going to use those to pay down my debt because the premiums aren't as high right now from the drip. All right, when the drip start increasing and the premiums increase to around 20%, on average, the Cornerstone funds give you 20% premiums plus the 20% dividend. Okay, but I've seen in my experience 30% premiums on average, and I've even seen it go to 40 or 50% premiums. So I'm not going to say, hey, let the premiums collect and don't do anything with it and wait for the rights offering, which is what we alert you of on the Discord chat room in the channel. See all these drop downs you see above on my screen? That's from Discord. I'm not going to say that you should wait for the rights offering now. Okay, my lesson learned is you should rebalance your gains back to the 200, back to your core position amounts, okay? And when I do, and as I rebalance that, it's going to actually lower my margin. And now no one can ask the question, well, hey, how are you living financially free if you drip everything? How do you ever pay down your margin? Well, the answer was, again, the market was up huge, so I was living out of my equity. Okay, not only do I make 160,000 per year in dividends, but I also get 10% per year in capital gains because I'm tied to the indexes, which average 7% per year. So I was able to withdraw out of this number here, okay, no problem. But now I don't, the market's pulled back. I don't want to just withdraw from my precious equity base. So I'm using the dividends from Cornerstone to pay down my debt. It'll be back down to 150 or so by the end of the month. Okay, and next month it'll be 140. And guess what? I'm probably going to add 10K again, because I don't need to pay down my debt. Okay, it doesn't accomplish anything for me to pay my debt down. It's nice to have zero debt, but now I'm not growing, and now I'm not pushing the limits. You always have to use good debt to get ahead. Okay, in my opinion, go look at all the rich people in the world. Go look at the real estate people. How are they doing this? Okay, how did Elon Musk buy Twitter? I always say he uses margin. How do real estate people get ahead? They use debt and they finance. Okay, look at all the corporations. Look at all the most successful people. Even Warren Buffett took loans to get ahead. Okay, so again, I think this will do it for the video, guys, okay? If you like the video, click like or subscribe. And if you need any help doing what I'm doing, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. I really think that we're going to be stronger for all these moves going forward, how I shook up the portfolio. And this is how you have to maneuver when you're in a down market. So, again, if you like the video, click like or subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.